two quick things why most people know me online. If you used to dance the robot, I had the #1 place on the internet back in the day, 10 years ago, teaching people how to dance the robot. I used to be a professional dancer. I toured with T-Pain, was on America's Got Talent. And that was my very first business that got me into internet marketing, was growing that channel as a YouTuber. And then also my first product was a robot dance tutorial. And then I never thought I would lead into the things I'm doing today, as now I'm a much more popular business content creator with almost 2 million followers online. Internet marketing. I'm also an advocate of minimalism and the FIRE movement. If you've never heard of that, that means financial independence, retire early. During the pandemic, my wife and I, we sold everything and we were living full time in a converted Sprinter van. And that alone, especially at the time during the pandemic, ended up being a very trendy thing to do. We didn't do it because of trend. We did it because we wanted to. And then I also, we've been very good with our money ever since my very first job, saved it, invested it, Roth IRA, stuff like that. And the financial part of minimalism is that you have less things, you have less stuff, and with the money that you make, you realize that wealth is not about how much stuff you own, it's about how much time you have. So I've been talking about that lifestyle for a while, and then during van life it blew up because everyone was stuck during shutdown, and we were out, just my wife and I. And then the other thing too is, for the past 10 years I've been experimenting with side hustles and how to make money online. I pretty much tried all of the legitimate business models, and affiliate marketing is one that I got exceptionally good at. And that's probably what I'm most known for, being an affiliate for over 500 companies as we speak, promoting, making income on a monthly basis. I just hit last month the top affiliate spot in one of the leaderboards for High Level. It's an amazing affiliate program. And then while we were living in the van, I would share, hey, I made $100,000 this month from affiliate marketing. I only had Wi-Fi 1 day a week. And I choose to live in this van. And so people thought that was fake. They thought it was like, well, first of all, if you're a millionaire, why would you live in a van? And there's no way you can make that much money. And there's no way you could do it without always being glued to your laptop. So I was breaking through a lot of these barriers that people thought in order to achieve success, you have to do these certain things or have these certain things, or in order to be rich, you have to look this certain way. And then that ended up really scaling my personal brand today, where I'm very blessed and fortunate that a lot of people follow me to learn how to make money online, to learn how to be an affiliate, to learn also, as I hope the biggest thing is just to be a good role model of what I think the new rich is, which is having financial ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want, but also realizing that time is our most important asset, and creating systems that get back your time versus, how many Lamborghinis do you have?
I love that, Adrian. And those of you that have seen or heard Adrian speak before, or do a class or a challenge or a workshop, he was even at our conference last year. He did a huge breakaway session. And give us a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with Adrian. Give us a 2 in the chat if Adrian is brand new to your world, but you're excited. And just so you all know, I'm very selective on who we bring on a workshop, and we make sure that they have a ton of things to add to you and your journey. So if you're a high level or watching this, first of all, thank you for jumping in. I know we're all busy. We appreciate your time. If you're brand new to high level and don't even have an account, based on this workshop, we are providing a 30-day trial that you can take advantage. Usually it's a 14-day trial. So you get a 30-day trial as part of this workshop. I can provide the links. It comes with snapshots and a bunch of goodies that Adrian's providing from his team as well. So make sure you stick it out and learn all about it. So Adrian, as we go into day 2, one of the big things that we talked about yesterday was creating evergreen bridges that brings you business. So you don't have to go out there hunting for new business. Can you give us a quick recap of what we missed yesterday for those that are watching for the first time?
Absolutely. I personally love building businesses or systems that can run without you, where you don't have to always trade a 1-to-1 ratio for time per dollar. I want to be able to go to bed and have my business keep growing. I want to be able to travel and have my business keep growing. I don't want to create things that even if they can make a lot of money, I always have to be working. So in this 3-day workshop with High Level, every single day we're learning a strategy that can scale without your time. It takes time, of course, to build and create it, but in terms of managing it and growing and scale it, these things will start to produce traffic, will start to produce leads, and will start to produce sales without you always having to constantly be engaging with every single person that comes in. And so in day one, we talked about one of my favorite ways to turn a stranger into one of your most trustworthy customers, and that's the teaching method. And we talked about how by creating and helping your persona, or your target market, your industry or niche, by creating resources, it's one of the best strategies where for you as an unknown person with not being a thought leader or anything, how you can actually, as your first impression, take a stranger and help them build trust to the point where after they've learned from you, they're like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. What else do you have to offer? I want to buy it. And I feel like it's not even sales at that point. It's more just like, well, thank you. And by the way, I do have this SaaS business that's going to help you even more. Or by the way, I have this other class. Or by the way, I have an agency. The offer, it's the sky's the limit on what you could offer. But one of the hardest things, no matter what level you're at, is sales. And most people do not know who you are. Most people do not trust you. And so the teaching method was one strategy on that can break through that, where you can build trust instantly and then have the easiest sale in the world because you already have built trust, and now they just want to know what other things can you help them with because they believe in you. So amazing method. And today we're going to learn it in another amazing strategy. The last thing I'll say about the teaching method is that the teaching method requires you to teach. This is the entry to barrier. You have to create a resource, typically in a video format, to help someone. And that for some people, we talked about how that can be very difficult if you've never been on camera before. But I shared honestly, transparently, one thing that I think is very difficult is cold calling. I don't like the idea of being on the phone with someone and trying to close a sale. It scares the crap out of me. So all these things, whether you're good at cold calling or doing videos, no one is at the beginning, but you have to put in your reps and talking directly to a camera like this. I have my original dance videos I posted. They're so bad. And I remember it used to take me a whole week just to try to make a 60-second video because I would keep stuttering even my name. Like, hey guys, it's Adrian Brett. Like you have to get used to just even saying your own name on camera sometimes. So you got to put in your reps.
I love that. So, Adrian, as we go into day two, I'm going to go ahead and make you a co-host here so you can share your screen. Let me make sure I did that properly. Okay, awesome. So just a real quick temperature check in the room. I know I had asked for a little bit of homework to be done on your part, and maybe some of you might have missed it, but I want to just make sure we all do a group activity real quick together as Adrian is pulling up his content and slides for day two. So in the chat, I'm looking at Facebook page right now. In the chat, give me the topic that you are going to do a quick 20-minute masterclass / video / webinar / VSL, whatever it is. I want to understand what is the topic that you have in mind that you're going to create for your industry or the type of prospects that you're going to go after. So I'm going to read out some of the examples that are coming. Let me go ahead and go to, and just so you guys know, just to make it easy for myself, I'm on the Facebook page. I'm on High Level's Facebook page where I'm seeing the comments here, okay? So let's see. Charles Snyder says webinar on CRM customers, right? So remember we talked about this concept, these topics being very specific, right? So we want to get even more specific than webinar and CRM customers. Someone says parenting. I think that's a really interesting topic, but let's get even more further into the details, right? So get to the level where you know the title of the actual content or the type of webinar you want to do. Okay, John Winters is saying the agency dashboard. Okay, off topic. Engels is saying GMB, the ultimate lead magnet, right? So you want to go further in and say, here's how you bring in 15 new leads through GMB as a dentist, right? You want to go extremely specific Someone says private lending, mindset, AI content creation, ABCs of gigs, getting closer to God, call capture, GMB, startup couples. Yeah, a lot of really creative topics that I'm going to challenge all of you to go specific with and get more detail. So, Adrian, help us understand day two content. I know it's really around the gig method from what I remember. Um, Help us understand what we're looking at.
Yeah, shall we get started?
Yeah, let's get started on day two content.
Perfect. So the gig method. Here's my promise for today. For those who have the time and can stick it out, I promise it's going to be worth it. This is another strategy that can build passively, and it's going to teach you how to get strangers to trust you by paying you to become a lead. This is actually another mind-blowing concept because in every other form of advertising and marketing, we have to pay to get a lead. We have to either run an ad, you run an ad, you run it for $5 a day. And if you get one lead that day, essentially that lead costs you $5. And for those of you that are trying to get leads, but you are not running ads, and let's say you're creating social media content organically, or you're literally going knocking on doors, your time is worth money, right? So you have to invest time. And even though it's not spending money on an ad, that's time money. And you're still paying something to get the lead. And this formula, just like in day one, we're going to talk about what I like to think is the secret traffic source of the internet, redemption style traffic, in the form of a gig where actually the lead is going to pay you. They're going to pay you to be your lead. How amazing is that? And then once you have them as your lead, you'll have that opportunity to then get them into your business and system. Redemption style traffic for the people that were here yesterday. I would love to do a little pop quiz. Define redemption style traffic if you happened to make yesterday. What does that mean to you? That was kind of a big traffic reveal from yesterday.
And I learned that it's not the same thing as retargeting traffic. So thank you.
Yes, that it's retargeting is, by the way, I'll say it again, one of the most amazing traffic sources. Have to do it if you are running ads, but redemption style traffic is that secret traffic source.
Yes, we
Uh,
want to see comments on all channels. So do not comment in the Zoom room. If you are in the Zoom room, we're not monitoring it. We intentionally have it turned off. So if you message or comment in there, those are all direct messages coming to me and Adrian, which we're not fielding. So go to High Level Facebook page, any other groups, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you want to watch the streaming, and post your comments there, and we'll see your replies and responses and questions. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. I have one answer from Neil. Getting leads from micro lessons in Udemy and Skillshare. So, redemption style traffic, I would say that is a form of redemption style traffic, and redemption. That was super specific to day's one agenda. But redemption style traffic, if we take from the super high level of it, it's essentially tapping into marketplaces that have existing demand, traffic, and customers, and then redeeming that person off the marketplace into your own funnel or website. And if you are super brand new, that sounds like a lot of nerd speak. So if I was to really dumb it down, I would say essentially there's people that are already wanting to buy exactly what you could have to offer. And traditionally, you have to go, and no matter what business you're in, you launch your business and you're basically shouting on the internet, "Hey, over here, come over here, guys, over here, please, right here. I'm exactly what you need." You're basically advertising yourself. That's traditionally how it works. Or like when you were driving on the road and you have those big guys that are like, come buy a car, come buy a car, right? They're trying to get you off the street and into their dealership. But redemption style traffic is essentially not that. You're not shouting out the world. There's already people who want to buy what you have to offer, and they exist in these like hidden marketplaces. And so you're actually creating in days one, we talked about a way to create education that gets them off of that marketplace into you, and they already pay you And then when they come off the marketplace, they actually go into your business, your website, your service, or you set up an auto or demo. So it's totally different. But redemption style traffic is not limited to what we talked about yesterday, which is the teaching method. Today, we're talking about another style of redemption style traffic, which is the gig method.
I love that. And what kind of ecosystems do you usually recommend? So we talked about Skillshare, we talked about Udemy, we talked a little bit about High Levels Content Army. What are some ecosystems like that you or how do we even research ecosystems like that?
Yeah, I think some of the brands you have heard of before, like Skillshare and Udemy, are probably huge marketplaces you heard of before, but most people didn't understand the strategy of how to really tap into them. You know, when I first heard of Udemy and Skillshare, I thought, okay, it's a place I can upload classes. I guess I'll get around to doing that sometime. I could see how I can make money doing that. But then when I learned about the strategy, I was like, whoa, wait a second. It's not the few dollars I can make on Skillshare. It's about how I could actually get really high qualified customers off of that marketplace and into my system, and I can make way more than whatever money I'm going to make from those platforms. And money is a relative thing in terms of how much I think something is worth or not. Like I have made thousands of dollars per month just from the marketplaces. Like that could be a full-time living. So it's on top of whatever I make on the back end. But and today we're going to learn about another marketplace, which I would imagine this one's really popular. You've heard it before, but you probably overlooked it just like I did. And what's really amazing about these strategies is because you don't have to shout out to the world and try to advertise. You don't have to cold call, and that's amazing, at least for me, because cold calling to me is one of the scariest things. Um, and here's the thing: the strategy works so good it could make a full-time income, as it has done for me. And also a disclaimer: when we talk about money here, even if you follow the things I do step by step, the results are going to vary for every one of us here. But it definitely has a lot of potential, and I always speak from my personal experience. And these strategies, I'm not just throwing out saying, "Hey, this is a good idea. You should do it." I only ever teach things that I've personally done and have worked for myself. So if you stick to the end, just like yesterday, we're going to get you the exact snapshots of what I use uh, uh, to fulfill the redemption style traffic. Now, if we do have people that are brand new, snapshot might be a word that sounds weird. What is a snapshot? It's not a photo. Snapshot is essentially you're going to get my funnel. And hopefully you know what a funnel is. If you don't know what a funnel is, it's basically my landing page. If you don't know what a landing page is, gosh, I'm such a nerd, I can't even break it down. You're going to get my little mini website I use that basically can turn traffic into money, traffic into a lead.
Yeah,
And
the best definition I've heard of a snapshot is is an automation template where you can add a ton of different things to it and remove a ton of things to it where you distribute, copy, share, and paste it across, your high level accounts. And it's high level specific. Just FYI.
yeah,
You're not gonna find the word snapshot anywhere else, but it's basically an automation template.
I love it. A question I see from Neil already is there a list of marketplaces that allow you to provide a link to your sales funnel outside of platforms? So here's the reality of marketplaces. All of the marketplaces that exist, they don't want you to poach their customers. Who does? Like they have their own customers. So that is why you have to follow the strategy that was taught yesterday and the strategies taught today, that you create a bonus resource thank you that's integrated with your offer that exists in the marketplace. Because then it feels like you're not poaching. It feels like you've created additional value for the users. Because if you go on, let's even on Skillshare, and you just right away in your description in your first video, you just say, "Hey, by the way, I know this video is on Skillshare, but you guys want to leave Skillshare. Actually, like just come over to me." You think Skillshare is going to allow your videos or your resource to be on there? Absolutely not. So that's why we do this bonus thank you strategy. And the way you do it, and the way I talked about on day one, is in the same strategy we're going to talk about today. That's the graceful way to do this. Like like this is another example. We're doing a collaboration between High Level and my personal brand, and um, it would be a waste of an opportunity for me to just make this in today. Just instead of actually teaching, it's a giant sales pitch to buy something from you, right? And that would be terrible. But High Level knows, and I know that if I do a good job teaching, some of you may follow me. Some of you may actually get something of mine in the future. And that's the same relationship that you want to create with these marketplaces, that you're adding value to their ecosystem and you're building trust that way. And then you're making a value-driven offer for the people off the marketplace to then work with you. It's the same thing. It's the reason why Skillshare and Udemy from day one, they would love to have all of us go on there and add value to make them more valuable. And in return, we get paid and we get those leads and they can go to our business.
Absolutely. It is a reputation-based relationship, regardless whether it's a platform or not. And all these platforms, they have terms and conditions. They have guidelines. They have rules and regulations of what's essentially acceptable for their user base. And those are things you want to pay attention to. They have different styles. Like the other day I was on TikTok and I saw this gentleman like literally do a long form Excel sheet overview, and he was teaching Excel formulas. And there's hundreds of people watching this. Goes to tell you a perfect, example of how TikTok is misunderstood, right? So just like that, every platform you have to study and really understand what they're trying to accomplish and then match accordingly. And same thing with High Level, right? We do these 3-day workshops to make sure you as our audience, our customer, go get a paying customer for yourself. That's my whole point of doing these, just to make sure you elevate on sales and marketing and prospecting and all these different things. Because we don't want you to just use the platform. We want you to be successful with your entrepreneurship at the end of the day. Because if you're successful with your business and entrepreneurship, we'll be inherently successful in the long run. So yeah,
Absolutely.
go ahead,
Cool.
Adrian.
Okay, so here's some quick context in case this is the first time you're learning from me. What I just wanted to share today, a little bit different. This photo is one of the earliest photos of me as a little baby. That's my mom. That's my dad. And I was the first Brambila that was born in the USA. My dad actually immigrated from Mexico when he was 13 years old. And they worked really hard. Both my parents came from absolutely nothing. My dad came from I would say sub poverty in a village in Mexico. And then this photo on the right is from last week. This was the first time I actually was to take my team that helps run my personal brand out on our first excursion to basically plan for the year. When I first started making money online, my very first goal was basically just make enough money to stay at home and be a stay-at-home working dad was my first goal. Then after I hit that, my next goal was like, okay, now that I'm kind of taking care of myself, I want to make enough money where I could retire my dad. My very first goal, because I know he at the time he had this long commute. It was an hour and a half, and it was super stressful, and it just didn't bring him joy. My mom also had a terribly long commute, and it was actually through affiliate marketing that I scaled enough where I could make the offer. And so in 2019, I was able to make him an offer, and working with my dad was awesome. It was amazing. And I sometimes in my content use this headline, like what you see on Instagram is like I'm a millionaire now, I'm going to buy a sports car. I was like, no, that's not me. That's not for me. When I became a millionaire, the first thing I did was hire my dad. And the next goal I had was like, I want to make enough money now where I could retire my mom. And so now it's been a few years where we work together. It's an amazing family business. My wife is a CFO. It's been absolutely amazing. And I wanted to share this story because we're all motivated by different things. I feel like I've already talked so much anti-Lamborghini, and a Lamborghini might be the reason that you finally take action. Maybe you have it on your background, your computer. That's amazing. At whatever it takes. For me, I was always motivated. My reason why was like my first big ones was family. I wanted to work with my parents. And by the way, I don't work my parents like they're not working 8-hour work weeks. Like they work maybe a couple hours a day. I pay them um, uh, very generously as if they're working, full time. And if anything, it's another excuse for me to talk to them every single day. But it's absolutely amazing. I think it's important that the strategy you learned today, just like yesterday, they work, but you have to in order to actually take them seriously, I think one of the most important things is to think about what truly compels you. Why are you here? Why are you spending time with us? And what is your dream life? What would you like? What is the big thing that you're trying to work for? And before we go any further, I would love if anyone is willing to share right now, like, why are you really here? What is the reason why? Because if you manifest that, then the strategy you're going to learn today, just as of yesterday, is going to actually be life changing. You're actually going to be able to fuel the strategy with your reason why, your motivation to make it happen. The first comment, Susan, freedom is my Lambo. Hey, no judging. If that's going to be the thing that gets you to it, do it. But yeah, family's super important for me.
I love that you share that. And, I know you're a practitioner, and that's why I wanted you on this workshop because it's not just about the flash and the bang and the Rolexes and all these fancy stuff. There is the realistic side of building a business. Most of us are building. I would like to think about 80 to 90% of the folks that are in here are building legacy businesses. What I mean by that is they have some sort of a motive, interesting motive for their families, for their next generations, or even their spouses or whoever partners. Like they have a motivation that is beyond just themselves. Because I like to think most of us humans are givers, and that's the way we were created. And that's my personal opinion. And because of that, I think we're all more motivated by, freedoms and time that you create and wealth, not just richness, like, and understand that you're impacting other people's lives. So I appreciate you sharing that. I'm seeing a lot of comments here and a couple of funny ones, but I appreciate people's engagement here. So, I saw your clip of the trip. Like you guys were all sitting in one row on the flight, and you guys went out. I think your parents, your staff. It was really cool seeing. I think you took them all on a vacation or a trip or something recently.
Yeah, it was the first annual trip, and it was something I always wanted to do. This was the last year was the first year I hired non-family member employees, so I feel like now it's time to like take it seriously like a team, and it was amazing. I'm just gonna read a couple more, and then we'll get into it. Sharon's shared that she wants to support her two disabled kids. That's amazing. Jamie says freedom is time, creating income to invest, create passive income, retire my husband. I resonate with that. Time freedom from Fred. Get back my time. Yeah, time is a big one. Time is a central motivation for me. So what's going to be amazing about now as we dive into it is these today's system is about how to create something that you can actually alleviate the time burden versus a one-to-one ratio where you always have to sell every customer manually. So let's get into it. And first, the question of like, you're about to learn something. Why even do it? Why do the gig method? Here's the two big sales problem. If you resonate with this, if someone has ever said these things, say yes, comment yes. First thing, one, you're too expensive. And it doesn't matter what your price point is. Could be $100,000 is what you cost, or it could be 97. Or I've sold something that was $7 and someone's like, you're too expensive. Has someone ever told that to you? I see a bunch of yeses over here in the Facebook group. And the other one, I don't, here's another one that's like more, I put this more specific to high level because I'm sure everyone's using this word verbiage a lot. I don't need an all in one solution. I just need this one thing. I don't need everything. Like, quit overwhelming me. I just need this one thing. Like, can't you just do this one thing? I don't need it all. Like, I don't want to pay for all that stuff. Just need my one thing. How many people have ever talked to a customer that's like, they think they know what their problem is, but like they're so wrong. They like are so wrong. And because you are more versatile in like what their system solutions marketing, it's like, dude, what you're saying your problem is not even close to your real problem. But that's how customers are sometimes. They're thick-headed. You know, they have tunnel vision on this one thing that might not even matter if it's fixed. And you probably sometimes that's what we have to do in order to build trust. We have to help them with that one thing, right? I see a bunch of yeses. Um,
Inside high level, we used to say, give them what they want so then later we can give them what they need. Because a ton of people
yeah,
would come in and be like, this is what we want, this is what we want. We know that's not what they really actually need. And then eventually
right.
we know what they need, which are, multiple different types of features that make sense. But it was one of the mottos that built the first 2 years of high level internally. That's what we had in mind. So yeah, the two big sales problems are the objections of you're too expensive or I don't need all these things that you're providing. That is absolutely right.
Yeah. And so you notice already, if you made it yesterday, the two sales problems for the teaching method, they were a little bit different. So the gig method handles two other problems, challenges. So the gig method fixes that. Customers will understand your value, no matter how much your price is, and they'll build trust, and then converting into the all-in-one solution, because you'll help them with that one thing that may not even be the most important thing, but you'll help them with it, gain the trust to the point where they're like, you have an all-in-one solution because you just helped me with this one thing, and this other thing that you have does everything. Like, I'm all ears. Tell me about it. I'm ready to learn and eager to try it. So this is why you want to learn how to do the gig method, do it right, and create this strategy for you, which can scale passively. So, oversimplified, to do the gig method, we have these three phases. First, you have to get skills. I'm going to break this out because I know we have a wide range of audience here. Some people who are already experienced. Some people are probably, this might be the first time or maybe they've never made $1 online. And then you have to create the gig. And then the last part, the best part is, getting the money, getting the leads, getting the sales. So, the first thing, getting skills. How many people here have never made a sale online? Comment
That'll be interesting.
never.
Yeah.
Zero.
And it's okay. Remember, we talked about this yesterday, inspired from Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp. I said, I want high level to be the place of truth when it comes to entrepreneurship. And we
Yeah.
never judge you if you say, you know what, I'm starting out and I haven't done a sale yet. And yeah, give us a 0 in the chat if you have never done any online sales at all. And it's okay. There's no judgment happening. We want to put you in the right place to succeed. That's the total intention.
And about all the people that are commenting, I commend you for being here, because the first step into your journey into how to make money is learning a strategy that works. And congratulations, you're in the right place. You're going to learn a strategy that works today. Oh, this is the other big offer, exciting thing. Yesterday, I taught a strategy that might take a little time to get started. Today, you could literally get started on this today when we're done. So maybe by tomorrow, people who are the fast action takers will be able to actually make their first $1 from this. So super excited. So yeah, see a bunch of zeros, nevers. So this is great. So I can spend just a little bit of time for the people who are brand new. Seems like there's quite a few. All right. So essentially, if you want to create a gig online to get paid to do something for someone, and you've never done it before, there's a little bit of discovery and research that you have to do. Now, based on you may have an idea right now of like the type of business you want to create, how you want, or the type of person that you'd like to help. Those are typically where I'd like to start whenever I think about new business. What problems does that person have, or challenges? Um, and there might be some of you who are like, you know what? I actually don't know where to go. Some people, I get this in some of my groups at times. They'll be like, I don't know anything. I can't help anyone. I'm helpless. But the reality is we all have ways that we can help people. Learn the work. A lot of the things that you could offer to get paid for are things you can learn for free on YouTube. If you're someone that's like, I don't even know, I have nothing to offer someone. But it's amazing how if you guys are working a 9 to 5, have a main job, how a lot of that could actually translate into online gigs and service. Like, one of the funniest things sometimes in my group, I'll get someone who says, I'm a nurse practitioner and I don't know how I could help people. And I'm like, wait a second. Did you just say you're a nurse? You're like a nurse and you don't know how you could help people? It's like more of like a lens of like, wait, you're a nurse. There's a lot of things that you know that I don't. And I bet you could translate those or convert those into ways where people would be willing to pay you to learn. So it's really just a perspective that you have to put on versus like you actually don't know anything. And for the people that are like, I would say the people that are they feel like their skill sets don't translate to online, this is the first step for you, is to learn the work. And one of the shout outs I'll give to getting started is, if you have nothing to offer, I bet one thing you do is actually your time. And there are tons of businesses that just need help with some administrative type of work, whether that is data collection or organization or helping someone with their email. And so I often point the ultra beginner to start as being a virtual assistant or assistants, general assistant for types of businesses. There's an endless supply of businesses that need help being more organized and efficient, and that's the best place like you could start into to doing it. And learning the work is very easy. How do you use an email, organize it, add little labels on it, and connect it? I have a personal assistant. That's what she does for me. And when I log in my email, because I get like 1,000 emails a day, it's all organized, and I pay her, and it's worth the money every single time. And you can help people with Excel. If you don't know how to use Excel, it's a learnable things. Google Sheets. I have someone that monitors my comments. So I apologize in advance if you message me and you think it's me responding. It's not me. I have someone that does that for me. So that's an assistant who takes care of my messaging. Like I would always pay that money because then it saves me time, right? These are learnable. These are skills that you probably don't even have to learn. You just have to do them, and it's a great place to start. Oh, I see a comment from Susan. It says, my nurse practitioner friend just got a 4-month blogging gig for 22K. Yeah, I mean, here's what's amazing when you start to open up your perspective of like, wait, my actual experience that I went to college with, or my career, can actually apply online. Like, there's medical companies that would, instead of hiring a random blogger that has nothing to do with like the industry, they're looking for nurse practitioners or people in the healthcare, because then their blogs become more credible that they use in their brand. So it's really a perspective. Everyone here that's watching this live or the recording has something to offer. And if you feel like you don't, then the thing I know everyone could do, is be someone's assistant. Okay. So that's a little bit for the beginners. If you are super brand new. Now, the next phase of that is, you're not an ultra beginner. You already have a niche. You already know who you're trying to go after, like, or profession or persona. Could be stay-at-home moms or realtors. And because you have a little bit more direction, you know more about what your customer needs, what challenges they face, what problems that they have. And using this information, you can either learn how to help them if you don't, or you can find someone to help them and basically manage it. And you can create this gig that helps them with that one thing that they maybe is a pressing issue for them right now. I have over here on the right, this is like a very generic Fiverr gig. Oh, I spoiled it. That's one marketplace. We're going to talk about Fiverr. I will create a 7 to 21 listicle blog, SEO optimized for your niche, right? This is a real gig I used to have back in the day. This is really competitive now because I think it's missing a niche. There's no niche listed at all. So it's really broad, but like you could add, I would create a 7 to 21 listicle blog, SEO optimized for your real estate niche. Now I'm dialed in for realtors who are trying to create blog articles, and I can help them there. And then you could basically insert any type of niche and dial in there. So that's what I mean of like, if this is a need or problem or type of work that they always need help with, this is how you want to think. We're going to talk about, so if you know the work or you don't know the work, you got to learn how to do something of value. If you know your persona, you probably have a list of things you already could help with. And then we're going to talk about different levels of gigs that you can do. And then, of course, how we can make this passive and then lead into your funnel. I'll take a quick pause there if there's any questions so far.
So Adrian, a couple of things that I would love some clarity on. So in the beginning, when you're starting off in the gig method, as you're developing skills, is it fair to assume that you're selling hours at the end of it all? You're selling hours in the beginning to kind of get your feet wet, kind of get your foot in the, in the business, or have a stepping stone. Is that the way we should look at it? And if so, are there things we can do to be more efficient with our hours? What does that look like? What does, I guess, level 2 of efficiency look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think I at the very beginning, I used to do more hourly stuff, but actually, that's not what I'm trying to teach everyone here is to do hourly work. Instead, and this is why I'm, I call this a gig and not e-lancing or freelancing. Freelancing, its truest definition is pay me a certain amount of time per hour and I will produce, I'll work for you. It's basically like getting a job. A gig with a little bit of creativity can be something more tangible, result driven, which doesn't have that association of time. Now I'm going to give you not just the theoretical idea. I'm going to show you how I used to do this and how it worked for me really well.
Okay,
So
so the way we're defining gig is by saying that we want to create tasks that are result driven, that you can pretty much automate or create efficiency or something behind the scenes so
yeah,
you're not spending hours.
right,
Okay,
right,
so I'm excited. This is exciting. All right,
cool.
let's keep going.
Yeah, and AI, you like all the things to try to make this pretty cool.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna do a just like before, an exercise for everyone here. This is not just one of those calls where you just tune in and it's on the background. Like we gotta do some work, and we're gonna do some work right now. So we're gonna do what's called a brain dump. For those that were here yesterday, we kind of did it. But again, a brain dump. What are all the things that your persona or your target market needs help with? What are all the tiny problems that they have that you could help fix? Or maybe you could help learn how to fix. And this is an opportunity I want to take like, let's take a minute. I know
Okay.
it's a fast minute. I want to take a quick minute for everyone here to think about it. And you can load it up in your comment section. And then once you feel like a minute is done, I'll actually, we can do a little time here. I want you to hit enter and show your brain dump for all your ideas. So if you know your persona, if it's content creators, realtors, if no matter if it's a dentist, all the things, think of your persona, all the things they need help with in their business, in their lives. Okay.
And
So
and by the way, Adrian is looking at the Facebook group comments, and I'm looking at the Facebook page comments, just FYI. Um,
perfect.
so Bernie says defining and tracking performance metrics. So he's a KPI tracker. Cool.
And when I say brain dump, it's not listing one idea. I mean like I want you guys to like keep going, keep going. All right. So I'm gonna hit the stop. We got timer started.
Okay.
Shoot. There we go.
Yeah,
I
we
want
see.
1 minute. 1 minute of brain dumping, of
Yeah,
putting all your ideas on.
yeah. List it down so we have an idea of what you're thinking, and we can kind of formulate it all together. Lisa Benson says full digital ecosystem. Okay.
Like I shared my example. My first business was teaching people how to dance. So all the problems for me was like how to dance on beats, how to open up a dance when you go into a battle, like how to have rhythm, how to arm wave, how to get up from the ground. Susan says I'm too scared. Look at brain dump. There's nothing to be scared about. This is the work of
Safe
ideas.
place.
Yeah. We need, I hope someone's doing this, taking this seriously. Oh, I got a better one, brain dump. Have reoccurring customers, create online courses, find customers that need help outside of basic offer. Yes. Guys, this is it. I don't want this just to be a training you watch. You got to put in the work, and this is part of it. Oh,
Okay.
cool. That was a minute. That was fast. All right, everyone, no matter where you're at, I want you to hit enter so Paulson and I can see what you have on your brain dump.
I love some of these. How to create a playbook for their business. Interesting. I think that's a good one. Um, Marketing area without time-consuming social events. How to double your growth by implementing a CRM system for your small business. Building a time management and organizational automation. Let's see, exhausted parents, parents struggling with challenge behaviors, understanding how to support children when emotions are overflowing, helping parents to understand and find ways to support themselves and take care of their own. Wedding videographers, website creation, blog articles, social media, content creation, networking.
Mm,
Let's see, there's a ton.
these are sounding good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quality.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just give some shout out to some really good brain dumps I see because the ones that it's almost hard to read because they did such a good job. So shout
Yeah.
out to Fred, shout out to Eduardo, Dwidgley,
Yeah.
Sugar. Thank you for taking this seriously.
We've got Bill.
Hitchell, Jack, amazing, 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 amazing. Okay, cool. Thank you for doing the brain dump. By the way, when I do a brain dump, not on a training, I usually take more than a minute. I'll usually exhaust my brain until it's all dumped. So that's the work of how you get these ideas. And we did this all off instinct, or maybe some of you actually did some use some tools. I'll show you sometimes when I do a brain dump. For my first gig that I did actually was back in the day when I used to help drop shippers. And so I did a lot of drop shipping. And so I was after some pretty good success on my own. I wanted to help other people do dropshipping. So at the time, it was a very trendy thing to do, and I feel like I had a different way of doing it. So we did a brain dump on our own, just instinct experience. But you can use I use Google and I use AI to help me think of things. Like you go to AI. And you type in, hey, I'm trying to help dentists service them. What are ways I can help them? What are all the challenges and problems they have? You put that in, you'll get a ton of ideas. On Google, one of my favorite parts of Google is this section. That's on every time you search. People also ask. So you type in a phrase and it'll actually give you real questions that people search. And if you're more technical and savvy, you could use a keyword research tool, which will get you specific numbers on each one of these and more. Like this is searched, for example, 10,000 times a month. And that can give you a priority of like, okay, I thought this idea on my head was a good one, but looks like this question right here, how to find winning product for dropshipping. That's by demand's sake, people like that has 10 times more demand than my original idea. So it's always good to have data. But I'm going to show real examples now of one of my me doing the gig method to this fullest extent, and it was with drop shipping. So this was a real screenshot I could find in old training that I used to do. And after you have you've done your brain dump, you've done your research, you thought about your persona, your target market, it's time to figure out what kind of gig you can create. And so what's a marketplace where you can put gigs? There's many, but I'm going to actually talk about Fiverr as one today. Now, this is a very popular one, and it has a lot of, I think, negative connotation to it. So I want to address that right away. So have you ever heard of Fiverr before? Say, comment yes. If you've never heard of it, I want to know. And I'll address my usual feedback who aren't implementing this strategy the right way. Fiverr, if I was to just like gut check Fiverr, I would say, if I need something cheap and really low quality and fast, I'm going to just pay $5 to someone to do it. So then when I introduced this idea that we're going to create a gig on Fiverr, I was like, hey, I don't want to work for $5 an hour. That sounds terrible. But that's not what we're going to do. We have, I have not seen one no. So I feel like everyone is aware of Fiverr. Okay. So, there's someone that I want you to look up, a very, very, very close friend of mine. Her name's Alex Fasulo, and she is probably the best example of the gig method. She has done 7 figures alone on Fiverr.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And I promise you, it's not $1 million divided by 5 to see how many times gigs she did. And that does not include the redemption of those leads and traffic off of Fiverr into her business, because she has her whole backend set up. She's someone that is really taking this to the full extreme. Very close friend of mine. Look her up. She's been on news and all kinds of stuff from Fiverr. So
How do you spell that, by the way?
Alex Fasulo's Fasulo. Hold on. Let me make sure. Alex Fasulo. Yeah, Fasulo. The freelancing fairy is her tagline. So yeah, she's been all kinds of press because of she was kind of the first one that really took it to the extreme of like of tapping into a marketplace, which is that redemption style traffic. Looks like we have some people that follow her. That's amazing. I love her. I got nothing but respect for her. So okay, can you please do me a favor? If you've heard of Fiverr before, I want you to I want you to take a deep breath and pretend you're learning about it for the first time and get rid of all the past things you've ever learned about it. So I'm going to introduce it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you an incredible opportunity, the marketplace of Fiverr. Fiverr is a place that every single day there are literally hundreds of thousands of people that are buying gigs. And there's people in your niche, your persona is on here looking to help with them with that one thing that they think they need help with. And there's a way that you could actually tap into a marketplace on like this on Fiverr and get paid to service them that one gig, which got to keep in mind, remember, traditionally we have to pay to get the lead. This lead's going to pay you first. You service them, you over deliver, you create that trustworthy relationship. And from there, you create an incentive or bonus strategy to get them off of Fiverr into your funnel. And once they're in your funnel, it's up to you to decide what you offer next, how you continue to service that customer, what you potentially upsell them or work with them. And you can actually do this in a way that is passive, where you're not working an hour to make $5. No one wants to do that. You can use tools and automations and AI or outsourcing to do all of this for you, where you don't have to do anything, just have the face of it. And when you do this correctly, you'll realize how passive and powerful this can be. How amazing is that? Fiverr is the first time we ever heard of this. And with that context, sounds pretty amazing, right? Amazing.
And I don't know if you know this, but Fiverr stands for $5, like I want to spend $5 to get something done. So it's typically it has a reputation of low ticket projects, right? So there's a lot of misconceptions about it, 1000%.
Yes. Exactly. And we're gonna shatter those beliefs. And I'm also maybe audaciously gonna say why you want to take those $5. Because remember, if you're trying to run an ad and reach that same exact person, you're gonna have to pay the Facebook ads or whoever, or your cold calling team to try to reach them and try to convince them to work with you, dealing with all these a guarded customer, right? On Fiverr, that exact same person sees your gig that helps realtors with their listings, signs up, gets their value, pays you, and then like, that was amazing. What else do you have? Right. So it totally flips the script. And $5, $20, $100, again, that price point's up to you. But if you are long-term oriented and you have this back-end redemption style traffic, you'll take $5, because if you're truly scaling your business, you realize how crazy it is where the customer pays you first versus the other way around. And that customer that comes off a marketplace through already proven work, they're the best customers. They want to work with you because you've already built trust. Yeah, so I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of you guys might have your guard up against me right now. I don't know, Adrian. I don't know about Fiverr. Yo, stay with me. Okay. So pricing strategies, yes, there are a majority of gigs on Fiverr that are $5 to $30, but there's also gigs that are $100, $500, $1,000. My friend Alex, so she's someone that has gigs that are in the $1,000 range just to get started. So just because your first understanding of Fiverr may have been an introduction of like, hey, I need a logo. Actually, high level, they used Fiverr to get their logo. You guys probably paid $5 for it. No, I don't know.
Oh man, that's hilarious. How did you know that?
Sean shared that with
Oh,
me
okay, okay,
actually,
okay.
because
Yeah,
actually
we were
we were
just like, let's just get going. No need to waste any
yes,
time. Boom.
yes,
Something that matches Google colors. Let's go.
right. So no matter what the price point is, because you're going to have this redemption style traffic, I'm going to encourage everyone here to say yes, because you don't want to think of like what the $5 is worth to you, which to all of us is probably nothing, but what that $5 lead that paid you first is worth to your business if they get on your SaaS plan, if they work with you with one-on-one, if they do group coaching, if they buy your classes. Like that's the beauty of it, where that $5, like, so maybe it did take 30 minutes to get the $5, but then that person then buys the $250 plan that's per month. and they stayed there, right? So you had to think long-term mindset. And this is such a hard thing for beginners. We have this problem of like immediate gratification syndrome where it's like you launch something and you're like, what the heck? It doesn't work. High level lied to me. Adrian lied to me. I'm not a millionaire yet, right? Because and then you scroll on Instagram, you see people in Lamborghinis driving by and like, yeah, I made all this money in a day. It's like that's not reality. It's not how it works. So take the money, create the system, make it passive, and the $5 out automate it, outsource it, use AI. They get into your back end, and that $5 turns into 1,000. You'll watch, and it turns into reoccurring revenue. So, it's a totally different mindset. So, when you create a gig, this is my little rule book. Create gigs that you can outsource all or a percentage of. Uh, I'm gonna and we're all at different points here. Some of you might be balling on a budget. You might be thinking like, I cannot afford to hire someone or outsource, even if that person is like in a lot of popular virtual assistants are actually out of the Philippines, right? And if you live in a country that has a strong currency, you can afford to hire someone that is actually a great wage at $5 an hour in some places. So, and some of you might be like, I don't even have money to do that. Okay, that's fine. I remember, by the way, all of this, I used to do all myself before I got to the point that I could outsource. So sometimes we have the ability to outsource and use our money that buys back our time. And sometimes we don't. We want to get to that point. But either way, it's great if you can outsource a percentage. If you can't, it's time to do the work and hustle because you got goals and you're scaling. You just got to put in that work in. The next is to create gigs where you can bulk the work. And the example I'm going to show you today is one that I did. And the example I'll show you today is one that I did not outsource. I did it all myself back in the day. But there's different types of gigs where, okay, so you have to do it, but maybe you could bulk the work, just like I'm a content creator. I do not create videos every single day. Although if you were to go to my Instagram, it looks like it. It looks like, oh my gosh, Adrian is every day. He must film for hours. No, I film 1 to 2 days a week, and I try to film for like where I don't have to film for the next 2 weeks at least. So it's called bulk work. It's like working smarter to get it, cramming it all in at once, which is more efficient than if I actually filmed a new TikTok every single day. So that's another thing that you can focus on how to scale. And then create gigs that are fast to do for you. So if you create a gig that truly is, it takes one-on-one consideration of what the customer is asking for, that you need, in order to over deliver on your service, you need to really pay attention, and it's truly unique, one of a kind, proprietary type of stuff. Then the only thing I'll say is maybe that's the best way you discovered to service your customer. Make sure that you're charging the right price, because that's the worst one, where you can get caught in a scenario where if you're only charging $5, but it takes you 5 hours to do it, it's never gonna work for you. You're gonna be like screaming at me, and as you have to fulfill 100 gigs, like, Adrian, I hate you. Right. So that's the only one. I like to lean on gigs that are fast to do, fast, efficient, results driven. If you are doing something that's way deeper, just make sure you price it accordingly. And then, so that goes in with the second one, create gigs that are worth your time. And I underlined worth your time because I want everyone to adopt that long-term mindset. I am so happy, even today, to get a $5 gig, because I know on average, out of every 4 people who get the $5 gig will turn into 1,000. Right. So I know that math. So I'm like, it's worth it. It's worth my time to continue to use a marketplace like Fiverr, because I know my math on the back end.
And that's because you
So
have a bridging system in there with the bonus that says,
yes,
come join me here because you're now taking redemption traffic outside
yes,
of a marketplace and pushing them to a mid-ticket or a high-ticket offer you have.
exactly. Exactly.
I love
That's it, Paulson. That's the game.
I love that. So here, real quick. So those of you that are watching this workshop so far, and you're like, hey man, I thought this is a high level workshop where we're going to talk about high level. Yes, workshops that we do is predominantly focused on making sure you get customers. So yes, you could create gigs around high level. You could create gigs around automations. You can create gigs around campaigns, email marketing. SMS marketing, building funnels. Like, I mean, you could, there's 500 plus features that you can take and set up for businesses or create content around. Like, so yeah, it is totally relevant to high level because at the end of the day, entrepreneurs like yourself, digital marketers, agency owners, coaches, consultants, creators, like we all use high level to fulfill a lot of these gigs in general.
Absolutely. You know, Paulson, I'll just say, like, I've seen in prepping for this, I've seen a lot of workshops, and you actually do so much with all the education of the ins and outs of high level, how to use it. Um, I feel like the one thing I feel like I can make a lasting impact and give value to everyone is like, because you guys, I don't think I could teach better high level stuff than what you do. Just the reality. But what I could help with is give maybe some unorthodox strategies where you could bring customers into your high level system. High level is the foundation. That's where, you know, it's where it's your home base. It's where you create your funnels. It's where you send your emails. It's where you have your automations, where you have your conversations, right? All that's in place. You guys got to have that. It's absolutely mandatory. Like, these strategies don't work as well if you don't have the back end. And we are going to talk about that, but this is a radical way of shifting where we're not talking about paid ads. We're not talking about creating content online. We're talking about redemption style traffic, which is one of the most successful ways I've been able to grow in my incomes without, again, that trading time for dollars, building the system. So I hope, is everyone enjoying this and getting a lot out of it?
I hope so. Give us a one in the chat if you're getting a lot out of this and getting your gears turned on inbound strategies. The whole workshop is about creating magnetic inbound strategies, right? So reality is people should be coming to you, paying you to be spending time with you and engaging with you. So give us a one in the chat if this is helpful so far. So Adrian, as people are commenting, give me some examples of gigs that are worth your time. Like what does that mean? Like, is it, like consulting? How do you create like high ticket stuff that's worth your time? I mean, maybe that's my flavor.
Yeah, you know, I'm about to share a real specific example that I used, but when it comes to in the discovery process and you're researching what kind of gig to create, and your persona, that's where the beginning of this is. Like, what type of problem are you fixing? What kind of task are you helping someone with? And the quality of that task and the speed and all that formula for you to deliver the gig is going to determine that quality of customer, what you could offer next. So if you another way to look at it is like, the smaller the problem you help them, then the smaller the trust is. There's still trust, is better than zero. But if you help them with a medium sized problem or even a bigger sized problem or bigger pain, doesn't have to be problem. Pain's probably a better way to describe it. Like pain, like for example, like I just started doing jujitsu, and all of a sudden, I've never had it before. My lower back pain is coming in like crazy. So I haven't also gone to a chiropractor in like many, many years, and I had pain. I went to the chiro, and he did my adjustment, and instantly I felt better. And he could have, when it came to the bill, he could have literally been like, this was $2,000. I'm like, thank you so much, because he solved my pain just like that. Now, it wasn't, but he said he did make a pitch. He's like, oh, this is the one time, or you can do like I don't know, I paid for like 10 sessions or whatever. And so it was, to him, it ended up being a high ticket, because I was like, dude, sign me up. This is amazing. So you want to create that same sense of relief where you solve that big pain point. Like and the opposite of that, if you solve a small pain, it's still good. You're still adding value to that prospect, but in terms of trust, it's like the bigger the pain point that you solve, the more trust you get to make that high ticket offer. It's possible to solve a small pain and do a high ticket, but your conversion rate's probably going to fluctuate based off that. So one foundation or fundamental to think about is like, no matter what your gig is, you want to over deliver. And again, if you have a long-term mindset that's worth your time, you actually may put more value in, and you will, than whatever the gig is actually worth. But because you're long-term oriented and you have that system built in high level to get that person redeem it, it's going to be worth your time to know once you do this and you start getting gigs, paying them and seeing how many go to your funnel, how many sign up for your demo or do a consult for your audit, and then pay, and you get that first customer, you'll be able to put your entire math on this. Oh, I know that 1 out of 10 people that does my Fiverr gig signs up for my SaaS plan. I know every 5 out of 20 people that sign up end up buying my high ticket service. Like, then when you have that math, it's like, boom, like you've now fully completed this gig. And now it's like, how much can you go? And also, can you tap in other marketplaces? So it becomes quite beautiful.
Love it. So let's go through the example that you have prepped for us.
Perfect. Okay. So this is, oh wow, 2016. So I've been doing this method for a long time. And so I mentioned, for a little bit of context, I was a heavy into drop shipping, and then I started creating a little bit of content on it, and making a little name for myself in the drop shipping world. So then I started offering coaching, consulting, and service. And I wish back then I would have had a SaaS plan, because man, that would have been great. But so one of the in my discovery process of the side hustlers who were trying to do drop shipping, one of the biggest pain points they had was knowing what product to actually sell online. And in the drop shipping world, we call this what's your winning product? And it's kind of like, you in drop shipping, it's easy to sell a lot of different things, but there's always one product that, like, if you time it right, if you sell it well, and if you have all the right things in place, it can change your entire business. So it's like finding a winning product. And a lot of people struggled with the research process of it. And knowing how to research. I've come from a data background, marketing analyst, marketing research. These are past jobs I had. So I've always been really in the data of things. And so I came up with a gig on Fiverr, and you can see right there, $5 to basically help you find a winning product for your Shopify store. And so this at first hand is like, whoa, that must be like a lot of manual work to do that. And by the way, let me just be really proud of this specific gig. 57 reviews, 4.5. Let's go. That's how I know I was actually doing a good job, and my customers were happy, right? If you do the gig method, and if you give bad fulfillment on your gig and your reviews are bad, this method doesn't work. You have to over deliver. Okay. So when I created the gig, oh, these are examples of real orders. So this is just from that one gig, 108 back in the day. And you can see my range of price points are all small ticket. But every single one of those, my strategy I did from here is I basically created a bonus resource section where I said, here's exactly what you paid for. And I always made sure I over delivered. And then once the guy says, now, if you want to learn how to really maximize this winning product, click here. I have a bonus thank you resource for you to do it. And I believe back then I actually gave them like an additional PDF, and I had this small 5-minute video that kind of broke it down. And then the pitch was that if you wanted me to help you set it up and then basically service it, and then potentially coaching, I had that too. And that price point was $9.97. Anything with a 7, I feel like I've tried. $9.97. I did it. And so 108 Fiverr gigs for this research offer. And then I had that back end of $1,000 high ticket. So that's low ticket to high ticket. But the value that I was giving was that big pain point that would create that sense of relief. And because it was good, and the proof is right here. What was I actually helping people? 4.5 out of 57 reviews that did it. I'd say, oh, yes. And my reviews are probably still there. You could look them up. They were really great. And that's how I was building that trust, credibility. These are all strangers, did not know who I was. Their first relationship with me was, dang, that was amazing. What else do you have? You have a bonus offer where I can learn more about this for free? Sign me up. They did. Oh my gosh, you offer coaching or service or consulting to help me set it up? Amazing. Right. And all that. This is way before I knew about high level. Was high level even around in 2016? Yeah. This is before. See, now doing the strategy, and you guys have the ability to use high level, everything is going to be better. Your conversion rate, your follow-up, your nurturing, like you guys have the best tool in the world you're sitting on, which is high level, to execute the strategy at a much better rate than whatever hodgepodge things I was doing back in the day. So because this strategy was more manual, and I did it all by myself. I was not outsourcing because I didn't know how, and I probably also didn't have enough money to fully sustain it. I did the bulk method effort. So we talked about That's this one. Create gigs where you can bulk the work. So here's what I did. I did research on what the top industries were in drop shipping. A lot of it was like health and fitness and furniture and all these things. And then in basically one day, I did and usually a trending product will be trending for about a month and it'll go away. So for a 30-day time period, I would sit down and I would in maybe like 8 hours come up with like 100 different products, different research. Okay. And and so that was without making any money. That was just like pre-bulking the work. And then essentially from that list of 100, I would, and by the way, always want to be honest, always want to be ethical. If I had someone that would sign up, say, hey, I'm in the fitness niche, can you send me a winning product? I would never send the same two different customers the same research, because that would be pretty unethical of me to do that, right? So I had already pre-researched dozens of things within the fitness niche because I know that was a popular one. And then basically I would be able to cross that one off the list. So I wouldn't give it again and then deliver that. And I could do that like that because the work was already done. So they'd sign up. And by the way, there's a little bit of cheekiness to this. When someone signed up, even though I had it already in the bag, I didn't be like, oh, thanks, here you go, boom. Because then the customer is going to feel like, what? Did you just give me like a template? So there's almost like a strategy when you do the bulk effort thing to like wait a little bit.
Wait a little bit.
Yeah, wait a little bit, right? So then I did that and delivered. And I got, by the way, please don't ask me how much time should I wait? I don't know. Like, I don't know how to answer that, but I remember waiting and then delivering it. So they feel like it's custom, which it is. But it's the way that I wasn't always sitting at my desk trying to fulfill these is I pre-bulked it. So that's one strategy, a very applicable tactical strategy for you to get started if you're brand new. Delivered it. And then after they buy, they get it. There's in Fiverr, you have feedback, but you can see if you do a good job and over deliver, that's how you build a relationship. So my ideal customer, if I wasn't doing this gig method, here's what it would normally look like, which you guys probably sound familiar for you right now. If you're not doing redemption style traffic, you offer a service. Maybe you have a SaaS, maybe it's both. And so in my regards, if I was to redo this today and I was looking at drop shippers and I was not doing redemption styles traffic, I'd be like, oh man, I need to get some customers. I'm going to start creating social media content. By the way, drop shipping, you should do this, you should do that. Oh, it's kind of working, not working. I should probably run an ad. Okay, spending money. Crap, my Facebook account just got shut down. Got to read like all the problems of like running paid ads. And then all the other strategies to try to get customers in. And I have to pay money, right? This is the opposite formula. Customer comes in, or prospective customer, they think they have this one problem. And this is a great example because even if you have a winning product, doesn't mean you're going to sell it. You could have the best product in the world that everyone's buying right now. Like, did anyone here buy a fidget spinner when it was really hot?
I have a couple of those little fidget spinners.
Right? You know what's crazy is the amount of people that, and including myself, who were selling fidget spinners who knew that fidget spinners were hot but could not sell them, right? Because just because you have a product that everyone wants doesn't mean you can sell it. There's so much that goes into that. So this was a perfect example for my persona of like, I can get you the product. And then once you learn through my bonus, thank you, how intuitive the process is to actually be successful, you'll be like, wait a second. I understand now that I actually don't know everything I need to be successful. And because I already have trust with you, you're the guy that I'm going to trust to now work with you. So it's a perfect example. And every single niche and persona has the same type of concept. What's a pain problem that you could help them with, which again, to them seems like the biggest problem that like, I'm not successful as a dropshipper because I don't have a winning product. I know that's wrong, but I can help you with that little thing or with that thing that you think's big. And then I can nurture you to realize there's actually whole another part of this game. And because I've already built relationship with you, they're going to take my service or my class or my SaaS option, if I had it back then, to work with me. So that's the redemption style traffic in the full transparent example of what I used to do. And I didn't have high level back then. If I wanted to do this today, I would crush it. And I am crushing it in different niches that I am right now. So we'll take a quick pause if there's any questions on that.
I love to just understand what people are thinking when it comes to gigs that they can probably build out in bulk, you know? And I like the idea that you essentially pre-did the work. Like if you, a lot of these restaurants, right? They cook the meal like 3 days before and they heat it up right before you're ready to eat. I mean, fast food. I mean, the principles of what you're saying is very common in the world of corporate business, right? Like
Mhm.
they heat it up right before, make sure it's fresh. You feel like it's fresh. They put it on a new plate and you feel like they just made it right before. And that's kind of the scenario here.
Yeah.
But I think the key is to make sure you do the right research. Otherwise, you will be pre-building the wrong things, right? Then you'll have to
Right.
actually then do double the amount of work because you didn't do the right research and you pre-build the wrong thing, and then you have to actually fulfill what they're requesting, right? So it's really
Mhm.
important that you get the research done right. So what are some things people can do to do the right research, Adrian?
Yeah. You know, this is the combination of using Google and AI. I have confidence in data. Sure, I think I come up with some good ideas on my own, but I always like to backdate them. So if my best recommendation on research is that whether you use instinct or experience, you fall back on data. So you would, if you have the idea in your head, go to Google and use a keyword tool, keyword planner. There's others out there besides Google, and see actually how many times that specific challenge pain point is being searched. And that's essentially your volume of potential customers to help with. Because one thing we mentioned yesterday in the other marketplaces is this little phrase right here. I will find winning product for your Shopify store. That's the exact question that if we go back here, how do I find a winning product for drop shipping? That's literally pretty much the exact same question that Google's telling me people are searching. And here's what's amazing. If I was to, on my own blog, write, and I did write a blog post that's like, I have a gig that helps people find a winning product for your store, that the chances of me trying to rank number one are pretty difficult. It's pretty hard to do that. Everyone that knows what SEO is realizes how difficult SEO is to try to rank something fast. But here's what's amazing. Fiverr has a huge domain authority. So even though I, on my own website, couldn't rank through this gig, Fiverr gigs do rank on the first page of Google. So it's another way of hijacking into that demand through a marketplace. So people could go on Google, they type in how to find a winning product. My Fiverr gig is there. They click on it, then they watch, the details of my gig. They select it, then they become a customer here. I deliver the service through my pre-book work. And then I offer that thank you bonus, which is congruent with the offer that I was making. And then they learn, oh my gosh, I thought this is what I needed, but actually, no, I needed so much more to be successful. And this Adrian guy who helped me, and this is, he did such a good job. Let me see what else he has to offer. And that's where you hit him with either your SaaS or your service or whatever it is that you're doing. So that's in full circle how amazing. But it all starts with that research and validating it. This is this is the tactic though. So on your bonus thank you, you have your website and then you add /Fiverr. So for example, I don't have that drop shipping brand anymore, so good luck finding it. But adrianbrambila.com/Fiverr if I was doing the gig method. And that's where you just make it super simple for a user to click or go when you hand them that PDF bonus within Fiverr. They go to it and it takes into a custom built funnel that only people who have completed your gig, and I would also say who are happy and are going to now take your bonus offer. And that's all this so far is like acquisition. Now that you've already been paid by this person, you've built trust, you've turned a stranger into trust. They're so happy with you. You offered a bonus and like, wow, that is so generous of you. That's amazing. And now you take into the funnel. And that's where you now have the power of the high levels engine to capture the lead, nurture the lead, and then make your pitch. And this is the exact template of the snapshot that you're going to get from me. And I want you to notice how, for lack of better words, ugly it is, how short it is, how
Simple.
simple it is.
Yeah.
Now, why is that? How come it's not like a 3-page funnel that you keep scrolling and has all those details about who I am and all my experience and stuff? Because this strangers are not coming here. Strangers came to Fiverr Then they became people that love the work I have. So now if they're clicking my bonus, they just need right away, how do I get the bonus and what else do you have to offer? So in the snapshot, language that you can play with. If you like my gig on Fiverr, and again, you can replace that words with, if you like my gig on finding winning products, you're going to love this free bonus, which will teach you how to use your winning products, how to get the most sales. And then, you insert something that's more relevant context, then a little more context here on like what it is the offer. And then you can collect it all within high level. You create that form to collect the lead, and you put the information that makes sense for you. If first name and email is all you need, great. If you need phone number, awesome. If you need them to make an appointment, which you're going to talk to them in person, great. You can do that all on high level. If you want to then add another layer where after they sign up, then you make a pitch and you sell them whatever it is you're selling, great. You can do that all on high level as well. If they sign up and you want to put them into an automated email drip sequence for the next month, you can do that in high level. Literally, there's nothing that you cannot do with the engine of high level. But fundamentally, because all the nurturing and relationship building was all great on Fiverr, you don't need to overcomplicate this. You just need to make it simple and fast so you capture that lead off the marketplace and then make your pitch.
I love that. And you can get creative with your bonuses. Maybe the first round of bonuses don't work. So test different things out. Maybe you may do a consultative call versus a PDF download versus a VSL funnel versus maybe driving them directly to your YouTube channel. Like be creative. You all are creative. Yeah. I mean, that's why we're here watching this session. So like get creative with your offers, your bonus structures, how you ascend them forward into high tickets or mid tickets. Pay attention to that, reevaluate. And once you have something working, don't change it. Let it ride out for 90 days or maybe 160 days and then come back and reevaluate it. Because a lot of times people change too many variables in the science project too quickly and they don't get the hypothesis that they're hoping for. What else do we need to learn about the gig method? Are there multiple ecosystems even outside of Fiverr, or like what does that
Yes.
look like? Help us understand how to expand and scale this.
There is. Fiverr alone could be enough. You don't need to do other marketplaces, but it could be enough. I want to address something really, really quick, a question and then a comment response from two, because I think this is, like I mentioned, there's probably a lot of people with barriers on this, but hopefully by now you're starting to see the full thing, like, and you're be like, oh, I'm starting to get it. The question was, what is the best way to build credibility, visibility on Fiverr? How long does it take? Ryan responded, good question. I'm only going to pick on him just a little bit. Fairly saturated with service providers with a lot of reviews, right? Okay. Saturation is something I feel like I almost don't believe in on the internet. Um,
It's like
it's
price.
like,
I don't.
yeah, the demand, I feel like always, for a lot of these industries, are always going to outweigh the amount of service providers, because it's almost a defeatist mindset. It's like, oh, there's too much saturation. That's why I shouldn't do the gig method. But I have time and time again, without using my reputation and followers, been able to create gigs and been able to teach people to create gigs from scratch, their experience in what appears to be saturated niches, and work their way to the top with the redemption style traffic, having a full back end. I'm not teaching you something that's outdated. I just wanted to show, I like when especially if I'm teaching to a lot of new people, I like showing examples of like things that I did. And versus me saying, here's a theoretical example if you were going to target realtors, because I feel like it's more powerful when you see my face that I actually did it. So it's really, it really isn't about saturation. What it really is about is optimization. So if you go into the most crowded niche in Fiverr, and I don't know what that is. Let's say it's AI services. And you were to go in there, I believe that with optimization, you could be on the front page, getting money, getting leads that go into your back end, and uploading it. So, and that is, I'm saying that without, you don't have to have any social media followers. You don't have to be an AI expert. Optimization is the key. It's a very achievable and conquerable micro search engine within Fiverr that I've seen people with from never doing it before make it to the first page in a couple of months. I want to give a different idea though to the people here who already have a little bit of data, even if it's 300 followers, even if it's 50 emails. This is how you can use the gig method to get a really big boost, but also turn those people who have signed up for your email, because we all know every person on your email is not a customer. I have 100,000 emails. I don't have 100,000 customers in anything I've ever done. So there's always that gap. One strategy you could do is, let's say you do create the real estate gig and you're targeting realtors, and it's like how to optimize listings. And again, that's a pain for them, but that's not all the thing that they really need. And once you have that uploaded, you could actually do an email broadcast to the maybe 50-ish realtors that you have and say, hey, I just launched a gig where I can help you optimize your listing. And it's a way to re-engage someone who's already been with you, but did not pull the trigger to purchase your main offer, your high ticket service, or your SaaS. But it's a one way that you get the opportunity to build that relationship from window shopper to actually purchasing, which is the first line of building a significant amount of trust. Like if we go through the different levels of trust, it's like, what is the first thing? I liked something that you posted. Next thing, I follow you. Next thing, I sign up for an email. And then the last one, which is the hardest, I buy something from you. Now, of course, we all want everyone to buy our main offer, but most people have to be nurtured through that sequence. And so if you create that Fiverr gig and you're already sitting on some of your data, you already collected it in some shape or form, emails, or you have a little bit of social media followers, make an announcement, do a post, do a broadcast, get them into your gig where you can start that relationship there and solving that one pain of theirs. And then you can work their way up back to the high ticket offer. So marketplace redemption style traffic is the main thing you're getting at today, but it's not just about that. It's also a strategy to re-engage with people. And so it's a versatile method and strategy when you think about gigs. Here's a little bit of fun math though. So we learned about the marketplace of Fiverr. You create your gig, and then you have your funnel on high level to capture the lead, make your pitch, and promote your high ticket or SaaS plan or whatever it is that you offer. 180 people off that one example. And this is theoretical math. Let's say if I was booking demos, and I wish I recorded my data from 2016, but I just didn't. So this is hypothetical, but I just want to let you know it's reasonable. 40% of the people who are really happy, you saw my ratings, 4.5, booked demos. Let's say I was doing demos for SaaS. We just keep it about that. And then let's say 25% of those 43% are high ticket sales. These numbers are not out of proportion. You have to remember, this is not cold traffic. It's not even warm traffic. It's buyer redemption style traffic, which is the best traffic that converts out of all traffic. And imagine if you had 10 of those people that are on your 297 SaaS plan, that'd be $29.70 a month. So then when you go back to your math, now selling that for $5, selling it for $10, now you have the math on your back end. You're like, now I understand that it's worth my time because I have this system in place. And that's just one gig. I only had this gig for 30 days. 30 days, that's it. $0 to $30 or 0 to 30 days, 108 orders. So that's not even going full on out with it, but that's just one example of how you can tap into a marketplace, create a gig, and nurture with your back end through high levels. So pretty amazing. Other marketplaces, you have to be careful. Some of these are going to be more like e-lancing based. So it's all your positioning within them, but I just list them here, but honestly, just Google search. But Fiverr, honestly, if I had to pick one place to just try this, it's still my favorite place, still my best place to get started. And if you wanted, one of my friends, he actually uses Upwork still to build his agency. And he actually is in the middle of launching his SaaS with high level. So like, he doesn't do the gig method. He's actually doing e-lancing but in theory, Upwork and People Per Hour and freelancer.com, they're marketplaces where businesses are looking for service. So it's a different game, but I prefer the gig method because I don't want to do hourly work. But some of you, and maybe a lot of you here, might want to do that as a way to get customers as well.
I love
Um,
that. Can you clarify one more time the difference between the gig method versus e-lancing or freelancing? One is hourly and the other is result driven, from what I understand.
yeah. So if I was to actually go back to my example here, I will find a winning product for your Shopify store. So I could easily turn that into an e-lancing service. The difference is I will find a product for your Shopify store. What's the result? Getting a winning product, or depending on their package, winning products. If I was to make this e-lancing, which I would say is not a gig, I would say I will do winning product research for you. So now I'm offering it as a service, and maybe I could charge whatever I want that per hour, but there's an expectation that they're hiring me for 5 or 1 to 10 hours or more, maybe on a regular retainer, and I'm going to continually do research for them and produce the results. So one is based off time, one is based off result. Um, I'm not saying hourly is bad by any means. I That's how I got started. I used to do service and I used to work per hour. And I think that for a lot of people starting out, that's one of the safest, most reliable ways to get to, if you are trying to leave your 9 to 5, is to get enough retainer or residual work to do so. But how I've evolved as an entrepreneur is to place a strong desire on creating opportunities where I don't have to trade hourly for time. So I try to create gigs, and I love gigs because through what we talked about here, if you can create gigs that you can outsource, you can bulk the work, that you can do fast and worth your time, they work really well, and you don't have to work for an hour for $5 or an hour at all. You potentially outsource it all or use AI, which I do today.
Right. Are you going to be sharing notes on the outsourcing and the efficiency of not doing the hourly?
Um, I I wasn't. I think we can open up to Q&A and I can
Okay.
talk about. I don't have them in my slides because yeah, outsourcing. I can like I actually have never taught how I outsource. So
Okay.
um I think we have this one last slide here, and then we can open up Q&A. We can start with that because I can share stuff on how I outsource, which I think could be really beneficial to people. But
I believe.
um I truthfully feel like I am a student in systems and automations and outsourcing. And so like I don't lead with like I can help your business by making you more efficient, because I feel like I have a lot of room to improve myself. But I can share where I'm at right now, and maybe that can be helpful as well. Um, here's my homework assignment for everyone, just like you did on day one. If you want to do the gig method today, sign up for Fiverr. If you want to max out the gig method, Fiverr at the beginning allows you to create 7 gigs. So think of those 7 problems that your persona has, that your niche has, those 7 challenges, and don't just throw something halfway up. Like take the time to do proper research, get your data, upload it, because if you're really thinking about building the system with high level to capture the more high ticket or residual income on the back end, take this seriously. It's more than just $5 gigs, $20 gigs, or $100 gigs. It's potentially life-changing opportunities based off the amount of volume you can get from marketplaces. Redemption style traffic, my favorite type of traffic, works. They bring in the most highly qualified people compared to any other traffic source that I have. When I run an ad, doesn't convert as high as redemption traffic. When I do an email blast, doesn't convert as high as redemption style traffic. When I do organic, when people come organic, when people do a webinar, literally every other traffic source does not compare close to the conversion rates that come from redemption style traffic. And the reason why is because someone just bought from you, worked with you, you delivered, and they're super stoked on what you did, and so they want more. So you went through all the process of like turning, they're not even stranger, they're not skeptical, they have no doubt, like they love you, they trust you, and they want more to work for you. And that's why redemption style traffic, in my opinion, is the best. So that's your homework assignment for today, to get started and think on that. And I'm excited to see who's willing to do that. Super cool. So we can start with outsourcing, unless there's other
Yeah,
questions.
so I'll go ahead and share my screen for one quick second. I know people were asking about this. If you're watching this workshop and you don't have a high level account, just as a special bonus for those of you that are watching, you can jump into this link. GoHighLevel.com/Adrian Workshop offer. When you go there, it'll give you options to become a brand new customer or an existing customer that can upgrade. Okay. If you're a brand new customer, instead of the 14-day trial, you can jump into a 30-day trial. We've had a ton of people jump into it because if you do jump into this offer specific to the workshop, you'll get access to the snapshots, the day-by-day snapshots. So like the teaching method, the gig method, and we'll talk about what we have tomorrow. You're basically getting the snapshots from Adrian and his team with instructional videos and everything that's going to help you launch so you can nurture the redemption traffic that you're bringing into your business. Then on top of that, I myself and our high level team, we're going to make sure you get access to our 5-day challenge program, which is basically a challenge that I personally run with our team, where we teach you how to get your first recurring SaaS customer in a local business. Okay. And that's completely free. You can get access to it. There's a private Facebook group for that. You get a ton of snapshots and collaterals. There's like Facebook ad templates and all kinds of cool stuff in there. So that's another bonus you get. On top of that, we'll make sure you get our SaaSpreneur Local Hero Playbook course, which is, let's say you've already launched SaaS or you're an agency owner that already has SaaS slash hybrid services. We will help you scale your business to more than 10 to 25 customers with SaaS. So all these bonuses you get if you jump into this offer today, and it's going to expire as soon as we're done with this whole workshop. Now, on top of that, Adrian is doing a $1 million SaaS launch and he's in the early stages. And Adrian, can you share a little bit about that? Because I know you had said for everybody that's upgrading to the SaaS plan, you're going to provide a bonus there. Can you share a little bit about what you have planned for that?
Yes, and we could throw that screen back up or not, but it's
Sure. Yeah.
this is something that uh I've never done before. I When I first started learning about high level was about 7 months ago, and the first way I got introduced to high level is like if you have a business or if you want to start a business, high level is the best place to do it. It can host, if you sell classes online, courses, you can host your classes. If you have a newsletter, you can send a newsletter. If you blog, it can blog. If you are an agency, you can run your agency out of. It literally does everything. There's not one use case where high level is not the best solution. And prior to high level as a tool, as a software, I had a hodgepodge of all these other softwares that this was like only for my email. This was only for my CRM. This was only for my website. And it was like, and it was very expensive. And high level actually is more cost effective than all the things that I was using. And it's better. So that was introduction number one. But then I learned of an opportunity that I truly think is the craziest entrepreneurial opportunity of our time right now. I still can't believe high level lets us do this. So high level is, first of all, an all-in-one solution. I just mentioned all the things it can do. That's only a little bit. It can do everything. But high level allows people like you and me to white label high level and make it our own. I still struggle with explaining this, but make it our own. It's it's so like all the things that high level is, I could create my own SaaS company off the engine of high level and customize it to best
Yeah.
service the niche that I want to go after. Paulson, do you have another way to explain that? I'm still working on the
Yeah,
best.
so I love it. I love it. So when people ask me, this is like really difficult for people to wrap their mind around, right? So let's talk about a regular, first of all, let's talk about business, right? The best industry that's going to give you one of the largest multiples is going to be tech. And SaaS is right on the trenches of that. So now, on top of that, your best option is to go hire a bunch of developers, raise capital, go build a bunch of features that meet the market, and then go launch the product, do marketing and sales, get people in as users and all of that. That's the traditional way to do SaaS. Now, with high level, you can take the 600 features high level has, debrand it. So you can remove all high level branding, assign your branding to it. And out of 500 features, you can create your own combinations. Maybe take 100 of those, maybe take two of those, maybe take one of those and go compete in industry specific marketplaces or markets. So you launch your own SaaS And I think the craziest thing about this, Adrian, is that you can keep 100% of the revenue.
Yeah.
Even if you build
Wild.
multi-million, even if you went to NASDAQ, your fee will be basically 297 or 497 a month. Your fee does not change. And
Wild.
matter of fact, we are seeing, several brands now going through potential acquisitions and potential mergers that launched like 2 years ago that are sitting on top of high level. It's very similar to the Salesforce model, right? You can see white labeled brands that are built on Salesforce now going to NASDAQ 10 years later, right? Because they're just book of businesses that's built on top of it specific to industry. So to explain it the right way, we're an operating system where you can build your own CRMs, brand it to yourself, keep 100% of the revenue. It's never been done before. It's the first time and a software company came and said, let's go ahead and democratize the software industry by allowing the power to the digital entrepreneurs to create whatever they want. So the use case scenarios are crazy. I mean, like the US military uses it. Shopify stores use
Wow.
it, massive Uber companies use it, Airbnb companies use it. Obviously, marketers, coaches, consultants, influencers. I mean, there's 600 features. And what I'm proud to say is we are your development arm. And matter of fact, we stand on it. We stand on business, like Drewski says, the influencer. We stand on business because we will continuously develop more features. Every single week, there's 10 new features rolling out, and that's the way we
Crazy.
want it. So
For
hopefully,
context, Airbnb, they released like two features like in the last year.
right. So you have the opportunity to launch a SaaS if you want to, and go down that route. Now,
Dude,
yeah, I'm speechless just thinking about it.
yes. I should like you need to. Like you if you're not dialed in, like and it took me a while to wrap my mind around it. And Paulson is way more eloquent in explaining it to me. It's like when I think of it, and by the way, you keep 100% of your
Mhm.
of the money that you make with your SaaS company. And I'll just share really quickly my offer because I feel like I'm delaying what my offer is. I'm launching my own SaaS company. It's the first time I've ever done it, and I'm doing something super unorthodox. I'm working live up until I hit $1 million valuation or die trying. Um, I have just started this in like basically last week. I like literally this is how far I am in the process. I have a logo. I know my name. I know my niche. That's it. So I'm literally starting next week. I literally going to start building my SaaS. And so if you're someone who, first of all, maybe you've heard about this opportunity, or maybe you're just hearing about it now, but you want to work alongside me step by step as I build mine and learn how you learned one strategy today on how I'm going to get clients, all the strategies and everything it takes to get to that $1 million valuation. You want a true step by step. That's my offer. And the craziest thing about it is I'm not charging you at all. I'm actually
It's
doing it for
free.
free. I have this amazing private group. I will charge. I'm going to charge $12,000. And I think that would be a bargain because eventually, imagine this. This is why I'm doing this. It's kind of like you can be part of my beta group. As you're watching me build it, I have right now a SaaS company that how much money have I made so far? Zero, because it's not launched. But imagine when I do hit $1 million valuation and I have documented every single detail, I'll be able to reposition the class like saying, hey, I have a class of documents from day one to $1 million valuation, and that's why it's cost $12,000 because it's not theory, it's literally watch me do it and all the lessons in between. So I have a private group. It's amazing. Everyone in that group has the SaaS Pro mode. So that's the what you need to upgrade if you're current high level, or if you're not signed up at all, that's what you have to do. And um
Yeah.
it
And you'll be
it's
able to upgrade when you go to that link, by the way. When you go to that link, let me, matter of fact, just pull up that link so you can see the page. It looks like this, okay? And there are two options. When you get there, do you see my screen, guys and gals? Okay, cool. There's two options. There's claim promotional offer. That's for new customers. If you don't have an account, that's where you go. if you already have an existing account and you're not on the Pro SaaS plan, because you will need the SaaS plan to launch your SaaS, you need to go upgrade now, and then you'll get access to Adrian's private Facebook group, and you can take along, basically go along the $1 million ride with him. And I think that's going to be really cool. Just FYI.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super pumped. It's a very I don't call it a course because at a traditional course, you log in and there's already like 30, 60 videos where you go and you watch them. Like literally, like so far, I've had a like 4 hour day where I'm just literally working live as I brainstorm, like when we did market research. And now next week we have days scheduled with times of like, yeah, I'm working live. And so someone was like, is there live training? I was like, dude, it's all live. Like anytime I'm working on my SaaS, I'm basically recording like this, and everyone in the group is watching, and we do Zooms where you can ask Q&As. But you're literally watching every step, every click, everything, all the way to $1 million. So that's for me. Why I'm doing it. I like the challenge, but also the sense of pressure that I have from having basically like right now the group of people watching me is actually helping me to stay committed and staying consistent. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, I feel like I go through like ebbs and flows. It's like I know I have people that are counting on me to as because they're also right in line with me with like building their SaaS. So I'm excited because starting next week, we get into the technical of like creating our SaaS, like the SaaS configurator, creating what it looks like. And so basically, if you sign up today, you haven't missed anything. You basically missed like the logo and what your brand looks like and stuff. And that stuff you can really catch up on quick. Starting next week is where we really get into the details of like how to actually build the SaaS. Also, I'll say the last thing about it. I'm not a tech person. I'm a
I love that.
marketer. I'm a marketer. I can talk about marketing all day. I can talk about how to get sales, acquisition, passive income, paid ads, organic. I'm going to do all those things. I'm not a technical person. So next week scares me the most because I have to like do it, build it. But if you're thinking like, oh, I could never build my own SaaS company because I'm not a techie, I do not resonate as being a techie.
Me neither. I'm not a techie at all. And but you learn how to be resourceful with what you have and understand what needs to happen. So, Adrian, I'm excited for that journey. I'm personally looking forward to like seeing how long it takes, the people that are around it, what are the strategies. Like I'll be tempted to do another workshop around it after you're done. But either way, let's do Q&A if you have a little bit of time. So
Yeah.
go ahead and post your questions that are relevant to the things that we've taught so far, which is the teaching method yesterday. And today we talked about the gig method. So let's go through questions. And I'm currently what I'm doing is looking at the Facebook page, which is the high level external page. And Adrian is looking at the Facebook group. So if you already have access to high level and you're already a high leveler, you get access to our private Facebook group of almost 60,000 people. And there's a ton of questions in there as well. So question number one, let's see. Let's see. How can we access the private Facebook group? Like we just said, you need to upgrade or sign up under the link that we provided. And then after the workshop on Wednesday, tomorrow's the last day already, just FYI, I'm going to give Adrian a list of people that signed up during the workshop. And then he's going to go back and with his team provide access to everybody that wants to jump into that private Facebook group. Okay. Let's see. Are there replays? Yes, they will be inside um, the YouTube channel. Let's see. Um, let me switch over to the Facebook group. I think more of the questions are on the Facebook group.
Yeah, I have some here from Fred. In SaaS mode, do we get
Go
100%
ahead.
of revenue or 40%? So you do get 100%. I'm also a super strong advocate of obviously high level, got my swag on. I promote as an affiliate, and the affiliate program, you get 40%. And the SaaS mode, you have to see this question is asked in the same context, like it hasn't hit you yet. It's your SaaS. So you get 100% of your SaaS. Your fee is basically that $497 a month on that SaaS pro mode. Every other dollar every dollar you make is 100% yours because it's your company. You could raise capital because it's your own SaaS. You could sell your SaaS. Your SaaS could potentially be go public. That's what Sean said. He believes uh, eventually one day someone's SaaS will be a public company. How that what a wild thought. But it's 100% revenue. So it's absolutely amazing.
All right. So Jamie Buck is asking, how do you get around Fiverr's stringent policy of not going off their platform or providing direct contact info?
Right. So this is where the tactfulness of the bonus thank you comes in. In your deliverable on Fiverr, you include that thank you bonus, and in it's in the bonus of whatever it is that you're delivering. So that's the most tactful way to do it. I mentioned this yesterday and today. All these marketplaces, they of course don't want you to get people off the marketplace. So that's why if you are caught doing something you shouldn't, that's against terms, for example, like saying, hey, can you go to my website and buy from me instead of marketplace or Fiverr because Fiverr takes 20%, you're out, right? So that's why you do this through a value driven strategy like the bonus thank you strategy, and you include that bonus thank you PDF. And that's worked for me, and I know hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that do the same thing. The only people that it doesn't work for are the people that try to do the shenanigans that are like, hey, can we get hey, let's get out of here. Like, nope, you're gone.
Love that. That's yeah. Susan Moore is asking, do you have to act like a techie when you deal with prospects?
I think if you're going to be good at business, you never want to act anything other than yourself. When people work with me, I do not pretend to be someone else. What's remarkable in my own in the SaaS group I have right now of being part of the journey of me going to a million. What's funny is we've already talked about some technical aspects of high level, and people have realized that they are actually much more proficient in the technical side than me. And I don't try to pretend, because I, even if I'm the leader in the group, to say I know everything, because that's not my authentic self. Being your authentic self is the best approach. So you don't ever have to pretend to be something you're not. And in fact, you'll be able more relatable in that sense to your prospective customers to say, hey, like I'm like, I think one of the best, a sales angle, if you have your own SaaS, is to say, hey, by the way, I'm not technical. That's why my SaaS plan, I made it so easy that non-technical people just like me can use it and win.
Absolutely. And I sound that, 1000%. I'm not a techie, and I work inside a software company teaching techies how not to be techie.
Yeah.
And that's literally my world. And Chase Buckner will probably sing along the same song as well, even though I think he's a lot more smarter than I am when it comes to the automations. But honesty and transparency is what's going to really scale a real business in long term, especially all of you that made that promise earlier where you want to build that, legacy type of business. So reputation does matter. Okay, so a couple of things here. I've attended a couple of these workshops and sessions. I have not received the SaaSpreneur Local Hero Playbook. All you have to do is jump into our success room. So if you go to speakwith.us/success, you can jump into a live Zoom session with any of our live agents and tell them, hey, I attended these sessions. I need the SaaSpreneur course or the 5-day challenge course. They will turn that on for you in your system. It takes like 2-3 minutes and you'll be able to get that. Okay. Um, Richard is asking, Adrian, can you discuss the difference between the SaaS plan inside high level and the agency plan? So what's the difference between the 297 and the 497?
I'll probably defer to a better answer from you, Paulson.
So the agency plan is basically all the features of high level unlimited. That's it. That's the 297 plan. There's 500 plus features, and I like to think of high level as a Lego land. You can come and create your, combination of Legos and colors and sizes, whatever, however you want to create things. So the 297 plan is your unlimited plan, unlimited everything, text messages, funnels, websites, locations, unlimited everything. The 497 plan is the same exact thing as the 297, except the SaaS billing features that allow you to automate all your software billings, software plan creations. So, one of the biggest challenges all software companies go through is managing finances because you have people that want to cancel on the 12th day. You have someone that wants to pause and then they want to prorate and then they want to add a user, then they want to add a location. So, for all that financial management, in addition to rebilling of SMS usage, email usage, is all natively built inside the 497 plan. So it's specific to the SaaS plan. That's the only difference. All features are essentially the same between 297 and 497, except the 497 has SaaS billing capabilities and SaaS rebilling capabilities that are fully automated, so you don't have to do any of that stuff manually. Just FYI, okay? Jack says, Adrian, once you do research on a gig, what is your strategy on pricing compared to existing gigs? Higher, lower, the same?
If you are trying to reach the first page, because if you're not on the first page, your gigs won't get any attention. Positioning your offer to be different, unique, more relatable is the main thing. The pricing option is is really not the main factor. Um, that's the decision. The reason is because it's all on the platform, right? The buyer of Fiverr is someone that's it's is looking for speed. They think speed, like it's someone with speed. So what matters more is the positioning. And like if you're truly optimizing your profile, you have photos, there's a portfolio section. You took the time to detail to write your listing, and then you have a video that it kind of explains what you're doing, with great testimonials. That matters more than the price. If everyone's price is the same, I don't. I never think it's an advantage to be the lowest price point unless you have your back end offer on high level built so good that's like you could take people for $1 and you know that dollar turns into $300 every time. So you could think again with that long term mindset. Although I think the minimum is $5 on Fiverr. Price to me on if we're talking specifically in the context of Fiverr is less important versus what should you focus on is like the actual listing itself and optimizing it through all the ways you can. Price would be I think matching it or is going to be no advantage, disadvantage. Pricing it more sometimes can be a big advantage because price psychology of like everyone hears $5 for this, but this guy's charging 100. I wonder why. Is it because it's better? Probably. It's like even though it could not be. So if anything, that's the price psychology they could use, not being the lowest.
Yeah, and you have to, I think the big key is knowing what type of buyers are inside the platform. So when you go to like outsource.com or contra.com or upwork.com, there's different personas that are there versus Fiverr. So the lean into that, and I think you'll be in a better position. And remember this, the big key thing, you're getting paid to get leads. So then why are you turning off the traffic by pricing it too high, right? So
True.
idea is to go mid-ticket if you ask me. So then you're not wasting time with too much volume. At the same time, you're not too high where you're not getting enough volume, right? So I think somewhere between low and mid is the ideal point where you're not like the cheapest one. At the same time, you're not the most expensive. And because at the end of the day, you want to get paid to receive leads that turns into mid tickets or high ticket in your own ecosystem. Remember, the redemption traffic idea is to extract the right type of buyers for a bigger ticket later. And then remember, there's recurring business from that. Like they don't need to go to Fiverr after that relationship is already built. Then you can create, um, you know, email marketing and all kinds of things with different offers. So just remember that if you go to different platforms, they have high ticket offers as well. So I think Ryan is echoing this again. Adrian, if maybe tomorrow, if we can spend some time going over the outsourcing and the fulfillment, and I know that's
Oh,
not
outsourcing.
something, yeah, I know that's not something you wanted to share, but if you can provide a little bit of notes of like how to think about it, that would be definitely appreciated.
Yeah, I could answer that right now. I don't know what time looks
Yes,
like, but
yes, yeah, we're good on time. Some of these go for hours, just FYI. We don't want to, but we can take
cool.
time. Yeah.
Okay. outsourcing, the first place I started outsourcing was in the Philippines, through VAs there. And the first way that I try to hire, and I, by the way, I have American employees as well, but I'm just going back to where I first started. VA, just because I was looking for someone to help with everything. To be honest, my first VA, I felt like I was just scatterbrained doing all these things. And if you want to outsource, what I'll tell you is I remember I read the 4 Hour Work Week book. That's where I first learned of this concept of a virtual assistant. And and because I'm a fast action taker, such a fast action taker, after I read that book, I went and hired a virtual assistant right away. And what's kind of funny is like the virtual assistant like was brought on, and they're like, "Okay, what am I supposed to do?" And I was like, I don't know. I just knew I need to have you." Um, which brings me to my first point. You cannot outsource a bad process. Before you look on to outsourcing, you have to systematize whatever it is that you need help with. This is in the business language, they call it an SOP, standard operating procedure. This is think of it as like when you open up a new board game that you want to play, the first thing you got to learn, well, like, how do we play the game? You got to read the rules, right? No one just opens up a game they never heard of. It's like, all right, let's start, right? And that's essentially what I did with my first virtual assistant. I basically gave her a new board game. I was like, all right, do what we do, play. But you have to create the rules. So I'll give one specific example. I have a VA all day long. They go through a data driven list to apply to new affiliate programs on my behalf, because I realized I was spending at one point in my life hours each day researching and applying to affiliate programs to try to get in, because even with my track record of success, I still get rejected. And then if I get rejected, it's like a conversation back and forth. Affiliate programs, they need specific requirements. Sometimes you have to write an application. Sometimes you have to put specific links, but it's all this work that I feel like I didn't have to be the one doing it. That's probably step two, is realizing the things that you don't have to do, which is actually a lot. There's a lot that you don't have to do. You think you have to do. So I created this basically a step-by-step rule book of like, if I was to outsource this, what are all the things that I need to do to actually someone else could just simply read this thing and then do them. And that's in a way a standard operating procedure. For example, step one, go to spreadsheet on Google Drive and go to the next website, click on the link. This is actually more than step one, but basically, like, here are the steps. Click on the link, go to the application page, fill out the application. If they require W-9, here's the W-9 and where to upload it. If they require, like, put in the exact follower account that I have on these social media platforms, if asked. If they require a meeting, set the meeting. Basically all the things that are standard into applying for affiliate program. I gave that as a rule book, and then I had the VA try it. Now I like to do what I call an audition day, especially with the new VA or with a current VA that is when I give them a new task. When I first started working with VAs, I got caught in the thing of the time zone difference. Like I want to, it'd be very weird hours where I'd actually be able to talk to them. And so that means if I sent them unclear information, I wouldn't know it was wrong until the next day. So it was like almost like a whole day where they were doing something wrong, not because of them. It's always because of me. So I learned to be really specific in my description and outsourcing. And then what I would do is like a day audition. So today is the first time we're going to try applying to affiliate programs. I want you to here's the instructions of how to do it. And then I would put myself in their shoes. If I was doing this, how many could I do in a day? And then then basically I would have them do it and then evaluate to see like how many they do. If I think I could do 40 in a day, then if they only did 5, then I would say, hey, what happened? Or like, what were you unclear on? Or realize, hey, this person actually just is not really suited for this position. Maybe but if they did around me at that, okay, great. I did a good job and I can see if there's any questions. Other ways to make your standard operating procedure better is, of course, screen share. You do a screen share of the exact task of like, here's an example of clicking on the spreadsheet, going to an affiliate program, signing up, and going through the whole process. So that whole thing from beginning to end also helps. And then if you want to make it crystal bullet clear, this is something I do now. I now transcript my screen share, and then I upload the transcript to AI, and I tell AI, hey, AI, this is a standard operating procedure to execute this task of applying to affiliate programs. Can you break this down into a simple step-by-step instruction? And also, can you include or clarify things that might be confusing to the user or ambiguous? Then I get the help of AI to also help me add things that I didn't say or include or talk about. And then that's at least what I'm doing right now to start people and then keep people. And then other things I do with virtual assistants is I have them check in every day in the morning and say, hey, Adrian, today this is on my list to do this, because sometimes in the past I've been living that passive income dream, and there would literally go weeks where I wouldn't talk to my VAs, and because I was like, it's running. I'm just gonna live my life. And then I would go back and I would say, whoa, something's wrong here. And then I noticed that a VA's been keeps doing this task because there's some email that I forgot about that I never told them to stop, and they just kept doing it. So then I created the daily check-in, and so now every day I can just see what's on that daily list, and if it makes sense, then if it doesn't make sense, and I tell them, hey, we could stop that and let's do this instead. But yeah, that's a quick rundown of how I use VAs. I don't know if that's helpful at all because I've never really taught that or shared that information before.
1000%. And I've had two agencies of my own, and then we built the high level agency, which was the marketplace that you see. We don't do services anymore, but we scaled it to like almost 800 plus clients, and
Amazing.
SOPs are the foundation of the engine. And usually the business owner fails the team members. And that's because there's lack of clarity, or the initial entrepreneurs that started the journey did it their way. And when you get somebody else to do what exactly it was, there's typically too many changes and people cannot replicate it. So even if you don't have a VA, start documenting everything you're doing as long as it doesn't slow you down. And eventually you're going to go into a software like ClickUp or Asana or Monday and start recording list by list items of how you get a task done. And then when you have a virtual assistant or a team member, then they'll be able to replicate some of it. Now, the fulfillment of redemption traffic, Adrian, can you help us understand how do you fulfill the task, right? Like I know you mentioned a little bit about how you manage the VAs, but let's just say, for example, I jumped on Fiverr and I said for 25 bucks, I'm gonna write blogs for SaaS launches, right? How will I utilize a team member that's overseas or virtual to help me fulfill that? And I'm gonna charge 25 bucks, right? Help me understand how I should think about it with respect to a fulfillment person behind my task.
Yeah, the philosophy of what we just did for applying to affiliate programs should you should think about for your gigs. Like, and if we looked at the original rules of the scope of how to think about gigs, one of the first lines was like the ability to outsource a percentage of it. And I try to only create gigs now that I can outsource all of it. Now, this is more of a reality to the type of work that we do. I hate to break it to you, but I'm sorry, you're not special. I'm not special. Everything I do is not special, meaning someone else can do it. So
Done it.
when you go and create your gig, what we have that some people think it's special, it's really just standard. Our standard of how I write a blog is going to be different from how Paulson writes a blog. It'll be different from all of you write a blog. And that's what someone could say makes us special, but it's teachable, it's replicable. So when you think about your gig, the first thing you should think about is like what is it that I do that makes my gig special, and create the SOP for that and have a VA do that. Then you never have to spend any time in Fiverr. Your VA is simply executing on your behalf, and maybe you have more of a managerial role before the finished result of the blog goes to customer. You have a quick look at it, And the quick look is your check's like, yep, they followed my listings. Oh, I noticed this actually is not done the way to my standard. I would just edit it or optimize it a little bit better. And then you pass on. And that's going to take minutes versus the hours potentially to do the work. And that's a brilliant way to think. But yeah, I think the only reality there is that like we're really not that special. No one is really typically doing anything super proprietary. So all the things that your gigs could be on, and even your business could just simply be outsourced if you just create that nice workflow.
Yeah, and here I'll entertain a thought here for all of you that are watching. What if you created products instead of services, so you don't even have extreme high level, high amount of fulfillment? So think of that, because in some industries that's what they need. So for example, like launch a Yext listing, right? To me, it's this very product oriented service where you're not dealing with like Facebook ads and Google ads and depending on somebody's algorithm or strategies on talent. Like if you go talent based, then you're going to probably have trouble fulfilling because all your fulfillment is dependent on talent and how you retain that talent and train that talent and create competency. So without any further ado, Adrian, what should we expect for tomorrow as we kind of close out? I see a few questions that are coming in. We can go through and answer it after as well.
Awesome. So the thing that I'm most well known for as a influencer content creator is actually affiliate marketing. So I feel like it wouldn't make sense if I did not talk about affiliate marketing, but I'm going to do it in a way that I've never really taught it before. I'm not going to teach you all how to be an affiliate because that doesn't really align with the goals of these training. I'm not teaching you to be an affiliate. Now, if there's questions in the Q&A sections of how to be a successful affiliate, then please ask those. This is the opportunity where I could really dive into that. But how I'm going to basically, I'm going to give you my launch plan of how to leverage the power of affiliates for your offer, for your business. And this honestly is such a momentous type of effort that it could replace all other forms of how you get sales. Affiliates, I think, are one of the most powerful ways to grow. I'm an example of High Level as a power affiliate for High Level. I've brought them so much business, and I'm just one affiliate. Like there are hundreds and hundreds of affiliates of High Level, and if you did the math, I think in the last year, what was it, like $20 million in commissions was sent out or something like that? I can't remember. It
Kelsey
was
knows
like,
the numbers. Yeah, we
yeah,
we wrote a pretty nice check.
if you do the math on that, like the affiliates are making 40%, that's how much revenue that just affiliates alone brought in High Level, right? It's insane. So imagine you wake up, you check your dashboard, and you have all these sales and leads, and all your calls are booked, and you don't have to spend a dime in marketing to get them because other people were promoting your offer for you. That's essentially the power of affiliate marketing to the max. And it is, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, sales acquisition source that you have to have in your business. But it is the hardest to implement. And there's a lot of mystery in how to run a successful affiliate program. And what's beautiful about my perspective of being able to teach you is that I come from the side of being an affiliate. I have my team and I, we've applied to over 30,000 affiliate programs. So I've seen it all. I've seen the really bad ones. I've seen the really good ones, the best ones, the top. I know what it takes to make a successful affiliate program. And the last thing I'll share about the last time I did a big launch with an affiliate program, which I'm about to do for my SaaS. So again, if you join that, you're going to see the theory in action. I launched my very first masterclass during the pandemic while I was living in a van. And my go-to strategy of how to launch was affiliates. And so I'm going to break down that strategy tomorrow. I'll just give you the highlights of it. In my launching week of launching my masterclass, or it was the first 2 weeks, that from affiliates alone, that total sales was over $400,000 in reoccurring revenue from a course I launched from scratch. And that was from affiliates. So the power of affiliates can be applied to every business, every industry. You can use them to fill up your calls. You can fill them to get your leads. You can fill them to sign up your newsletter. You can use affiliates for your course. You can anything. Affiliates are amazing. You're going to learn how to leverage the power of affiliates, how to recruit your dream affiliates, how to get them to promote you all the time, keep them active, and integrate them as part of almost like as if they're part of your team. So, power of affiliates tomorrow. You want to be there. It's going to be amazing.
I love it. So day one, we talked about the teaching method. Day two, we talked about the gig method. Day three, tomorrow, we're going to talk about the affiliate method. And if you're watching this, I promise you, um, do not overlook the 30-day trial. You want to take advantage of it, and you'll be able to, if you sign up under a trial for this link or the upgrade, you'll be able to access Adrian's $1 Million SaaS Launch private Facebook group, where he's just starting out with his SaaS launch. And then on top of that, you get the 30-day trial to any high-level plan. You get the day-by-day snapshots Adrian has built out for you guys. You get the 5-day challenge program from High Level, as well as the SaaSpreneur Local Hero program from High Level as well. So take advantage of it. It is going to expire tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be the last day. So definitely jump into it. So if you have any questions, we can answer it. And as we just kind of close out day two, feel free to go back to day one and watch as much as you can. Go through the comments, look at the questions and answers and things like that. If there's anything else we can do, let us know. So we'll see you tomorrow, 12 o'clock EST. That's New York time. For all of you that are watching international, we appreciate you staying up late or rising up early to be part of this. Any last words for day two, Adrian? Any homework that you have for them? Feel free to share.
Yeah, the people who are the fast action takers for today are going to think about their first gig and what they could offer, and even get started by creating that, two things, creating that Fiverr gig, and also start creating the back end on your high level account on how you can get them into one of your main core offers. So for my fast action takers, I'm excited to see what you guys do, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Bye, everybody. Take care.
All right.